Okay, good morning class. So today we're looking at cycle test 3 of 2021. The question paper and memo can be found in the description box below. Okay, so the paper was 1 hour 50 marks. We are told consider the table below where the age of cars is given in years and the selling price is given in rands. Okay. The age of the car is 1 year, 2 years and so on, goes to 7 and the price is in question. First question says determine the value of the correlation coefficient R and use it to describe the relationship between the age of the car and the selling price. So this is a question we did yesterday, not so. So what we do is we enter this into a calculator. So we press mode, number 3 for stat, number 2 for A plus BX. First column is normally the first row, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that corresponds with 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 9, 9, 0, 0. The next one is 121,000. The next one is 110,000. The next one is 80,000. Number 6 is 74,900. Number 7 is 69,900. There's AC to store the information. Shift 1, 5 for regression, and 3 for R. Is that correct? Somebody must just follow the memo. So the R value is negative 0,966. What can we say about this? It is a negative, very strong correlation. Okay. Then the question says, determine the equation of the regression line. Okay, for 3 marks. So we are really into the calculator. So you press shift, number 1, 5 for regression, 1 for A. Remember the formula is y equals A plus B. So the A value was 150,000, 714, 150,000, 714, comma 29. Okay. Of course, it's going down, so it's going to be negative. We shift. We didn't know that, it also doesn't matter. So you would get it with a B value anyway. So it's negative 12,000 and 46, comma 43. Okay. That's your equation of the least squares regression line. Hence, determine the selling price of a car after 4,8 years. Okay, so 4,8. So what I do is I just enter 4,8 where I see X, so X was the representation of the year. So it's 150,714,29 minus 12,046,43 multiplied by 4,8. Okay. So that is going to be 150,714,29 minus 12,000 and 46,43 multiplied by 4.8 gives us 92,000. 92,892 rand, 91 rand and 43 cents. Okay, so that's how we answer that question. Okay, the only variation there that comes with it, normally they would ask you what would the car be worth after 10 years, if that was the question. What is the value of the car after 10 years? You work the story out, you get probably an answer of, just put 10 in here, you get your answer of 30,000. Or they ask you after 20 years. It's going to give you a negative answer of 90,240. So, well, what we look at the car now. So, could a car be worth after 20 years negative 90,000? No. So, normally the question is after the 7th, 8th, 9th, and as the years go on, okay, they would ask you after you have worked it out, is this a fair representation of what's happening here? And the answer would be no. Why? Because we don't have data substantiating our answer or backing up our answer. You understand? Whereas if you have data that's lying between 1 and 7, this is a good representation. Why? Because we've got values in between. You understand? This is what we call an interpolation. Is within the data set. Okay, within the data set range. Whereas if you go from 8, 9, 10, and even as you see 20 is what you call an extrapolation. Okay, which means to say it's outside the data set. And if something is outside the data set, it is not a fair representation of what's happening in the situation. You guys understand? Whereas an interpolation is within the data range, okay, and in your domain, whatever, of the data set. Okay? Something just to note there, I haven't mentioned that yesterday. People, question 2. A young couple plans to take out a 25-year loan to purchase a house and can afford a monthly payment of 13,500. The annual interest is 8.5% per annum compounded monthly. Determine the value of the loan the bank will grant them. So the loan will follow a formula. PV is equal to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the minus n all over I. Right, so what's the monthly payment? So 13,500 into 1 minus 1 plus 0,085, and this is all over 12 to the exponent negative 12 times 25. And this is all over 0,085 over 12. So it's going to be 13.5. 13,500 into 1 minus 1 plus 0.05 over 12 to the exponent 12 times 25, or negative 12 times 25 should have been. This is all over 0,085 over 12. That correct? 1,676,545. Okay. Look at 2.2. Here we are told that a school buys an iPad for 10,000 and set up a sinking fund to replace the iPad in 5 years' time. The rate of depreciation is 16.7%. per annum on the reducing balance method. Calculate the book value of the iPad after 5 years. Your depreciation takes form of one of two ways. It's either depreciation on a straight line basis or reducing balance method. Okay. So reducing balance method follows a formula: A is equal to P into 1 minus I to the exponent. Straight line basis, A is equal to P into 1 minus I times N. Reducing balance or diminishing balance is to the exponent. Okay, so the book value after 5 years, of course, is going to be 10,000 into 1 minus 0,167 or 60,7 over 100 to the exponent 5. It's going to be for 5 years. It's going to be 10,000 into 1 minus 0,167 to the exponent 5. Gives us 4,010 rand and 74 cents. I think an iPad or a laptop or things like that would the better representation of the book value will be on straight line basis. Because I want to buy that 5-year-old iPad at that price. You know what I'm saying? Or a 5-year-old computer. It wouldn't make sense. Okay? So if you're looking at straight line basis, after a certain time, that item or that equipment or that technology will be redundant, it will be useless. Not so. Whereas a car still after 20 years can still have some selling value or book value. Okay? And that I would say is more better on representation on reducing balance. But anyway, that's what the question says. You are told that it is expected that the value of a new iPad increases at 9.5% per annum. Calculate the value of the new iPad, or calculate how much a new iPad will cost at the end of 5 years. So again, your inflation will follow your compound formula. A is equal to P into 1 plus I to the exponent. So it's going to give you 10,000 into 1 plus 0,095 over 1. Well, I don't have to put over 1 to the exponent. Just change what needs to be changed, so it can be 1 plus 0,095 the exponent. Oops. Gives you 15,742 rand and 39 cents. Okay, so that is what the book value of or the expected cost of an iPad of the similar stature would be in 5 years' time. The next question says, what is the total required for the sinking fund if the current iPad will be traded in? Traded in means, you say, given in or sold. Okay? Or given in and then that value is retained. So to get that amount, I would have to subtract the 2. Not so, the shortfall. Okay? Just put your shortfall. Or we can say this is what we're going to save for. That's going to be your future value. Or the sinking fund value. So it's going to be 15,742 rand and 39 cents minus 4,010 rand and 74 cents. Okay, so it's minus 4010.70. We'll give you 11,751 rand and 65 cents. So that is the amount required. Okay, well, that's the shortfall. Okay, or the amount needed for the sinking fund. Then we are told that the school sets up a sinking fund and makes the first deposit immediately. So what does that mean if it says immediately? Plus 1 on the in. Remember when they say start in 1 month's time, start at the end of the month, then that is what the formula makes an adjustment for. Okay? So you start immediately, so it's plus 1. It continues to deposit the same amount at the end of each month for 5 years, or for the 5-year period, which earn 11% per annum compounded monthly. Calculate the compounding, the rate, the compounding rate is in line with the investment frequency, and that's what we want. Okay, so no change there. Calculate the monthly payment into the sinking fund. Sinking fund follows the formula. Future value is equal to x into 1 plus I to the exponent n minus 1 all over I. FV. This is your shortfall, what you're looking at to save. 11,731,65 equals. They want you to calculate your monthly installment. So x what I want to calculate into 1 plus I, which is 11%, so 0,11 over 12 to the exponent 12 times, and that is going to be for 5 years, plus 1. Why? Because that's starting immediately. Minus 1, and this is all over I, which is 0,11 over 12. Some manipulation of formula here. So that's a natural over 1, that's going to go up, and this interest factor is going to come down here. Okay, and that's how we'll get x down on its own. So x is equal to 11,731,65 multiplied by 0,11 over 12. That's all over. Open brackets, 1 plus 0,11 over 12 to the exponent, that's 61 minus 1. Okay. Your monthly installment now works out to be, that's answer, the last answer calculated, multiplied by 0,11 over 12, and this all over 1 plus 0,11 over 12 to the exponent 61, that's minus 1. I don't need this block bracket because there is nothing being multiplied. Is that correct? One. Seems very low. Because the interest is high. Okay, but anyway, so it's 144 Rand and 39 cents. Right, you guys understand? Just check if the interest question is next. If it's not, I'm going to show you how to work that out as well. It's not asked. So the question could be, how much interest, or how much was actually saved if they had taken this route? Okay, so what happens is, the item would have costed, or you could say saved, is going to be, the item would have costed 11,731 Rand and 65 cents if they had not made the savings. But remember, the savings is going to draw in interest, not so. So what we do is we minus whatever amount is paid, which is 144,39. For how many months was that paid? 61 months. Can you see that? So calculate that amount, is going to be 11,731 Rand and 65 cents minus that answer times 61. So they have actually saved themselves 2,923 Rand. 2,923 Rand and 56 cents. Okay. So this is also what the interest would be on doing the savings. Okay. And that's the reason why companies would set up a sinking fund, so that instead of paying Instead of taking a loan out after 5 years and then paying an interest, they would rather set up a sinking fund. So over that 5 years, they're actually gaining interest. You understand? Both is gone up. Right. We are told that Justin invests 10,000 rand for 2 years. The effective annual interest rate in the second year is 2% more than the effective annual interest rate during the first year. At the end of the second year, she had 12,768 rand. Calculate the effective annual interest rate for the first year. The effective annual interest rate. So that's a yearly interest rate, okay? In the second year, it's 2% more than. So if you make the first year, so you say the first year interest. So you say let the first year interest equal, say X. And then the second year's interest would be X plus 2. Okay, so what happens is that, say I set up a timeline. Okay, so T0 is 10,000, not so. And then T1 to T2. So, yeah, effective annual interest rate in the second year is 2% more. So this is going to be X percent. It's going to be X plus 2%. Okay, my problem is just the percentage. I don't want to mess that up this morning. So this is going to be, at the end she has 12,768 rand. Right. So to do this calculation, the interest rate change, I must stop there, I must come down there, and then I will take it to the end. So A total is equal to P into 1 plus I to the exponent. So at the end of 2 years, you got 12,768 rand equals principal, which is 10,000 rand. So for this part here, it's going to be 1 plus I, which is X over 100. Okay? And this is to the exponent 1. Then what happens here? It's going to throw another interest here. So it's going to be into 1 plus X plus 2 over 100 to the exponent 1. Alright. So to solve for X, I'm going to divide both sides by 1,000, or by 10,000. So it's going to be 12,768 over 10,000. Gives you 798. 798 over 625. So that's equal to the story here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this bracket here. In pursuit of calculating X. Is this the right formula I've set up? Let's check the memo then. Effective annual interest rate. 2% more than the effective annual interest rate during the first year. Sorry? Yes. Okay, so let's multiply out. Let's see what we get. It's going to be 1 plus X plus 2 over 100 plus X over 100 plus, multiply the top is going to give you X squared plus 2X on the bottom, which is 10,000. What's your LCM here? The LCM is 10,000. Now multiply throughout by 10,000. Okay, so we go answer, which is that times 10,000. It's going to give you 12768. 12768 is equal to 10,000 plus. Now 10,000 multiplied by 1 over 100 is 100. So in other words, I'm multiplying this fraction by 100. Okay, so that's going to give you 100x plus 200, which is 100 times x and 100 times 2. This also must be multiplied by 100, so it's 100x plus, and that you're multiplying by 1, so it's going to be x squared plus 2x. Right, so it's a quadratic. That's correct? So it's going to be x squared plus, sort out the x's, is 2x plus 100, x plus 100, x is 202x. Is that correct? Right? And then the next one we have 10,000 plus 200, which is that here, minus that answer which we just calculated on the calculator. It's going to be negative 2568. Negative 2568. 2,568. So we plug that into quadratic formula. Otherwise we're going to spend forever and a day to work out the factors there. So it's 1 as your A value, 202 as your B, and negative 2,568 as your C. Which means x value of 12, or it should be a negative value of 214. People, okay, could it be negative? No. So therefore, your rate for the first year is going to give you 12%. Beautiful question, no? No. It's nice having something out of the extraordinary here and there. Not everywhere, this year. Right. Let's go with question 3. This question came out of a grade 12 final paper. Okay, I don't know exactly which year, but you go through the different years, you'll see this question come. Okay. And you'll see that most of these questions from recycle test and that comes from past papers. I don't have all the time in the world to think up new questions. It's very seldom we do. So, yeah. But anyway, let's read what they say here. Question 3. The following graph shows the decline means to say the fall or the drop of the African penguin breeding population from 56,000 pairs in 2000 to only 8,655 pairs in 2019. The rate per annum remains constant through the 19 years, throughout the 19 years. So what does this model? Does this model a diminishing balance method or a straight line basis? A reducing balance method or straight line basis? As you can see here, it is exponential decay. Not linear, it's not a straight line. Okay? So since it's exponential, it will be diminishing balance or reducing balance. Okay. So as you can see here, they took the reading from 2000. So year 0 here is going to be 2000. So this is 2008 and this is 2019 basically. Can you see that, people? Alright. So from the 2000, which is 56,000 here, and then only in and only for 8,655 in 2019, which is this value here. Not so. Right, let's see what they say. Explain how you know that it's okay, here's the first question. How do we know it's reducing balance? Because it's exponential decay. Did you see that, people? Okay, what did I write there? When I did the memo? Yes, okay. Graph exponential. Same story. Okay. 3.2. Calculate the depreciation per annum. Calculate the rate of depreciation per annum. So how do we calculate depreciation? We said it's diminishing balance. So it's going to be A is equal to P into 1 plus I to the exponent, actually minus. So what we want you to calculate is basically an I value, not so. So the ending off with 8655 is equal to, the starting with 56,000 into 1 minus I to the exponent 19. So I divide both sides by 56,000. Okay, so that's gone. Then I take the 19 to it. So it's 19 the root of 8655 over 56,000 equals 1 minus I. And I take the 1 over, then I divide by negative. Then I will get I, and times it by 100 to get the rate. So it's negative, open brackets, whoops. No decimal, negative decimal. Negative open brackets, 12. We want 19. 8655 over 5,000, 56,000 minus 1. Multiply the answer by, and this gives you 9,36%. 9,36%. Is that correct? Alright. Let's go to the next question. Calculate the length of the line SM. Round to the nearest integer. Okay? And explain what the value represents. Calculate the length of SM. So it's from there to there. Okay? But if you look at S, what's the coordinates of S? S is going to be 8 and 56,000. Not so. So M is what I need to calculate. But I know it's going to be 8 and some Y value. Okay? So I know the rate, the decay rate, or the drop, or the reducing balance rate is this here. Okay? This is from 3.2. So what I do is I then find A is equal to P into 1 minus I to the exponent n. So the A value would be this value here, which is your Y value. Can you see that, people? They started off with 56,000 into 1 minus I, which is 0,0936 over 1. I don't need to put over 1 to the exponent 8, as it's for 8 years. Okay, so you say 56,000 into 1 minus, that's answer, over 100 to the exponent 8. Gives you 25,512, 25,512, comma, 18 pairs of penguins. Okay, so that's going to be, say, 25,512. Of course, you're not going to get the comma 18 penguin, isn't it? So it says calculate the length of that line. So therefore, SM is going to be the top value, which is 56,000 minus 25,512. 56,000 minus that answer is going to give you 30,000. 30,000, 487 or 489. 489. So what does that mean? That means to say that within 8 years there was actually a drop of 30,489 pairs of penguins, or sets of penguins, or breeding sets, breeding pairs. You guys understand? Alright. Is that answer correct? Let me know when I'm making a mistake. Is that the end?
No.
You're thinking now. You don't just end like that this morning. Right, question 4. St. Susie Girls and SAPS Boys choirs plan to take the combined choir performance on tour with performance in 7 cities: Cape Town, Gqeberha, no? Gqeberha, Port Elizabeth. That's why I put Port Elizabeth, just in case I get it wrong. East London, Durban, Polokwane, Johannesburg, and Bloemfontein. These are not the provinces, no? They're asking the people online, how many provinces are there? People don't know. But anyway. So you're looking at these 7 cities. Okay. In how many different ways can the tour be planned? Okay, so people, they can, how many bids would we have here? How many cities are there? 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. So how many options do I have here? 7, then 6, then 5, and so on. So this is the same as 7 factorial. You all agree with that? Verstaan julle? Yes. Yeah. Right. There's 5,000 and 40 ways. Okay, so if they start in Cape Town, they can go to Bloemfontein, or if the first case, it could be any of the 7. So if they start in Cape Town, then they have 6 options left. So if they take Bloemfontein second, then they have 5 options left, and so on. Okay. The reason why it won't be 7, 7, 7, 7 is because once they have been in the one, then I'm going to go back then. Okay. That is now the logical thing now. Okay. Then for 3 marks, we are told the performance in the 4 coastal cities. You guys know what coastal mean, huh? Yeah, along the beach. Who has a beachfront in the city. The performance in 4 coastal cities, which is Cape Town, Gqeberha, East London, and Durban, must be done together. In how many ways can the tour be planned if these 4 must be done together? So how many bids am I going to have here? Huh? 7. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for those to be done together, I will bind them. Okay. In how many ways can this happen? 4 factorial ways. Okay. Then this is now considered as one entity. So this is now one bid. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I multiply this by 4 factorial. Because it didn't say that you have to start off with the 4. It didn't say you must end off with the 4. You understand? That is why this binding of that bids can happen there. You could have done one non-coastal province first, or one non-coastal city, and then do the 4. Or you can do 2 non-coastal cities and then do the 4. Or you can do all the non-coastal cities and then do the 4 binded ones. You guys understand? That is why it's going to be 4 factorial times 4 factorial. Which gives us 576. Is that correct? 576 dollars. Let's look at C. In C, for 2 marks, only 4 concerts can take place in any of the 7 cities due to time constraints. In how many different ways can the tour be planned if only 4 concerts can take place in any of the 7 cities due to time constraints? How many bits would I have here? 4. Is that correct? 4. Because we only have 4 constants taking place. But because it's any of the 7, how many options do I have here? Huh? 7. And then 6, then 5, then 4. Which is going to be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4. Or I could have had 7 factorial over 7 minus 4 factorial or 3 factorial. It's going to give you 8 4. Okay, let's look at the next question. We are then told that so what's the probability that only 4 constants can take place in any of the 7 systems due to time constraint? That is going to be this answer here, which is 840 over the total number that they could have been. Okay? So it's going to be 8,840 divided by 7 factorial. It's 1 over 6. Is that correct? Right. Let's look at the last question. A shoemaker has to choose a 3-digit code for a suitcase lock. The digits available is 1 to 9. To help her remember them, she chose 3 different digits in increasing order. For example, 3, 7, 9. How many different codes can she choose? Okay, so that will take about 4 or 5 minutes. I will just do it in the next period. Okay. People enjoy the rest of your day. You have a next paper for tomorrow, no? Right, see you this afternoon, no? Don't forget to the last period. Okay, so with regards to 4.2, as you know the bell, eh? Alright, so to help remember, she chooses 3 different digits to increase increasing order. So that is from smallest to biggest. For example, she got 379. How many different codes can she choose? Okay, so how many birds would I draw here? Of course, 3. Okay. So the value she can choose from, or the numbers digits she can choose from, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And remember that the numbers are not repeated, because I see it's going to use different digits. Alright. So let's put it in practical form. So let's say the first number is 1. Okay. Let's go black for now, because I think I'm going to use a lot of colors here. So it's going to be 1. So the next number is 2. Okay. So if she goes with the first 2 digits, 1 and 2, then how many options does she have left? There's 1, 2. So it can either be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 8, 1, 2, 9. Which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options here. Okay. But say, hang on. The first 2 digits doesn't have to be 1, 2. It could have been 1, 3. If I start 1, 3, then it could be 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6, 1, 3, 7, 1, 3, 8, 1, 3, 9. Which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options here. Remember that's all. That can only be 1 and only a 2. Only a 1, only a 3. But you say, okay, it could have been 1, 4. We say, okay, 1, 4. It could be 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 6, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 8, 1, 4, 9. Which gives me how many options on that bit? 5. So hang on, I'm getting a pattern here. So this could be a 1, 5. So without going any further, how many options would I have there? 4. Let's check. So if it's 1, 4, 1, 5, then you can't be any of those because it's ascending. It has to be from biggest to smallest. Smallest to biggest, sorry. Did they say they're ascending or descending? Increasing, so it's ascending. So it's 1, 5. So how many options do I have here? It's 1, 5, 6, 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, 8, 1, 5, which gives me 4. Not so. Right. It now gives me the next number, which is 1, 6. And how many options would I have here? 3. And then 1, 7. Then how many options do I have here? 2. So I have 2 options there. If I go 1, 8, then how many options would I have there? 1. Why? Because that's 1, 8, 9. So in other words, if a number starts with number 1, then I got 7 times 6 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 option. You see that? So that is going to be 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. That's going to be 7 factorial. And 7 factorial, that's too big. Definitely too much. So that's going to give you 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So if I add all of this together, okay, so it's 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So they give me 28 options here. Okay. Now let's go with, if the number starts with 2, then the next one has to be a 3. Not so. So it can be 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take out the drawing. So it's going to give you 6. Okay? Then it's going to be 2, 4 and the number. So you go 2, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. So the next one is going to be 2, 5 and 4 options. 2, 6 and 3 options. 2, 7 and 2 options. 2, 8 and 1 option. Okay. Which means to say, this here is going to be 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So 6 plus 5. So it's this without the 7. So it's going to be 21. So if I now start at 3, and then of course the first one is going to be 4, then how many options do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is again one less than this. Then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Which is then going to give me 15. So there's a pattern being formed here, which consists then of 28 plus 21 plus 15 plus. If I now go with the numbers 4, 5, and then here's going to be 1 less, which is 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Can you see that? So in other words, the next number is going to be the pattern 10. 1 less than that. It's going to give you 6. 1 less than that. It's going to give you 3. And the very last one is going to be 7, 8, 9, which only has one pattern or one option there. It's going to give you 1. So the total number of combinations she has is 28, or could make is 28 plus 21 plus 15 plus 10 plus 6 plus 3 plus 1. Gives you 84 different combinations given a constraint here. Okay. Something to think about. Normally we would leave that for your last question, or if you have time towards the end. Okay. In an exam, you try and finish everything and then come back to the sums that you have issues with. Okay. Or the things that you need to think of. There's probably a quicker way of doing it, but as I'm standing here, I can't just think it off my feet as we do it. People, in question 5, we are told PA is the probability of A, and the probability of A or B is equal. The probability of A is a quarter, the probability of A or B is a third. Determine the probability of B as a simplified fraction if A and B are mutually exclusive. For mutually exclusive events, that is what is going to be the case. There's A and B, of course. And the mutually exclusive means to say they don't overlap. The probability of A union B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B. Why am I going with that? Because probability of A or B is given to be a third. So it's going to be a third is equal to probability of A is a quarter plus probability of B. What they want you to calculate. So the probability of B is simply a third minus a quarter. Gives you 1 over 12. Let's go with the next question, 5.2. A and B are independent events. For independent events, what do we know? For independent events, I don't have to write that. We know that the probability of A intersection B is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B. Okay. Now with that said, we don't have the intersection. We don't have probability of B. So we know that the probability of A union B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A intersection B. Okay, so the probability of A union B is a third. Probability of A is a quarter. The probability of B is what we're calculating minus the probability of A intersection B follows this formula. So it's the probability of A is a quarter multiplied by the probability of B is what we're calculating. Okay. Let's take that over the equal sign. So it's a third minus a quarter, which is 1 over 12, is equal to 1 minus a quarter is 3 quarters. So the probability of B is 1 over 12 divided by 3 quarters, so it's going to be 1 over 9, I think it is. So divided by 3 quarters, you're going to answer 1 over 4. Okay, so that basically brings us to the end of the grade 12 CyT test 3 of 2021. Okay. The full question paper and memo can be found in the description box below.